Hey mates, and welcome to MtMtE's. I'm your host Blind Prime, and for today, I've got for you some Transformers to talk about. Well, one Transformer to talk about, and some Transformers to compare him to. I'm talking about Age of the Primes Alchemist Prime today in his weird truck mode. It is definitely a unique truck mode, and in today's video, we're going to talk about it. It may not be a long video, but it's definitely going to be a succinct video. That's for sure. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the things below that everyone else asks you to do. And please leave a comment. Let me know, what do you think about the Prime so far? And also, what do you think about Alchemist Prime's truck mode? Because, this is definitely a weird one. I both like it and dislike it. And we're going to get into it today and talk about it in depth. So please, tune in. Of course, I have Cream with me. And so let's just get right into it with a comparison with Alchemist and Prima. Now, interestingly enough, Alchemist and Prima are about the same shape. Like, Prima's just a little bit longer up here at the top with his back spoiler stuff. But bumper to bumper, they are the same length, and that's just kind of weird. And also, they are almost the same height. Prima is just a smidge taller than Alchemist, but not by much. Not by much at all. Width-wise, Alchemist is definitely the thinner guy. So that's where a lot of the bulk of Prima went, is into his width, and that's Prima. So now let's take a look at Bumblebee and Alchemist. Here we go. We're going to put 86 Bumblebee's bumper to the back of Alchemist bumper, and the front of Bumblebee's bumper goes to the back of Alchemist's front tire. And that's pretty good. Height-wise, Alchemist has Bumblebee on the height, but just by a smidge. Almost the exact difference between Alchemist and Prima is between Alchemist and Bumblebee. It's pretty neat. So we're going to set Bumblebee over here to the side and knock something over like we always do. I was going to transform Solus Prime for this, but that transformation's just grueling, so I ain't hitting. And the same with Megatronus. Like, I like Megatronus, but his transformation is a pain sometimes. And I was a little lazy, I'll admit it. So let's get into talking about this thing. First off, we'll take off his weapons, his Prime weapons, and they're going to, we can actually put them back on so that the gun points forwards. I think that this is kind of a neat thing. I really like that we're getting these weird little unique weapons that Solus Prime apparently made for them all. And I also think that it's just kind of weird. Like, his weapons are really odd, and they're supposed to be glasses, so they do combine together. And here, let me show you that. There it is. Yeah, they combine together to create some big old glasses things. But the thing is I haven't figured out how to put them on Alchemist in the form of glasses. Like, I couldn't find any connection points or anything like that. So it's just a pair of big old glasses that Alchemist can't wear. And if he does wear them, I haven't figured it out. If you know, let me know in the comments below. But that's his accessories. They only fit on the top of the car because everywhere else there's no siege ports. If you pull the hands out, let's see, can we actually pull the hands out in this transformed state? Kinda, but not really. So no, you can't really sneak in a siege port with the hands being pulled out. So let's get into the vehicle now. So we've got kind of an interesting shape at the front. It's one of those vehicles where the bottom of the bumper is actually inset and the top of the bumper is further out from the vehicle. Odd. Never really liked them too much because it's just weird. But on the underside of this bumper, we've got two big old metal struts that hold everything together. There's feels like there is a grouping of metal struts that connects these two together, and they act as some sort of bracer. It feels like maybe they're just part of the interior car frame that's sticking out, making a very sturdy bumper. Even though it folds in down there, it feels like it can take impacts. It is sturdy and rugged. And then above that, we've got a grill here for the car. Kind of a grill going on in there. There's some big old vents in there. And we have a little roll bar on front of that grill. And there's room over here on either side for lights, I'm assuming. That's what these things are. Ooh, there's vents in there on either side. So pretty neat. I like how the front of this vehicle kind of folds out, and they do a lot of 45-degree angles here to angle the vehicle out towards the sides. It kind of reminds me a bit of the Stingray car in its angles, and just similar feel at the front there. Definitely not the same because the Stingray had the wheels poking up above, but this one, it's got that angling correct. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the way it feels. I like the way this truck mode does feel in my hand. It is also pretty sturdy. But the hood of the truck mode, not really much going on the hood. We've got an inset little panel there that may have a faction symbol painted in it. I mean, if it doesn't, that's a wasted opportunity because that's like the perfect spot to put a faction symbol. There's this big shield, this big windshield, and this is one of the negatives I have for this vehicle mode, is the windshield. So here, I'm going to show you Prima again. Prima went with a big rectangular windshield, and this windshield that Prima has is similar. It's not the same, but it's similar to the type of windshield that Cup uses, and Wheeljack in his space mode uses. Cybertronian mode's Wheeljack, Origin's Wheeljack, I should say, and Cup use a very similar windshield. And this feels vindictive. It feels similar to that. Can't say that word today. But it feels very similar to those windshields. And this one doesn't, though. For Alchemist Prime, we've got a windshield here that feels very similar to more windshields that you would find on Earth. Even going so far as to give us a that's a windshield wiper there. Why does he need a windshield wiper when he's a Cybertronian mode? So that's just kind of anachronistic, I think, is the term for that one. But that's the negatives with the windshield. It just takes me away from Cybertronian mode. It feels more like an Earth-style windshield, and I wish it was more like a Cybertronian-style windshield. But that's the windshield. Now, the rest of the vehicle feels a lot, very much like a Cybertronian truck. So we're going over here to the side. We've got, past the front wheel, we have where this hinge is, and the hinge is working as a one of those little vertical cylinders that some of the big trucks have on them right behind the front wheel. That's what we're getting here with these hinges. They turn them into those vertical cylinders, and I appreciate that. Like, you can tell with the textures, and that's awesome. That is something that I absolutely love about this. I love it whenever they have to put in a hinge, and if they have to put in a hinge, then I love it when they actually texture the hinge and mold the hinge out to be something that is more than just a big bulky hinge on the side of your vehicle. This one has become part of the vehicle, and that's a really great way to hide that kibble. Now we're moving over here to the front door. The side door, it's, I don't think it's an actual door because it's a Cybertronian vehicle, but it's definitely where the door would be, and it's got this weird little bulgy bit sticking out of it, and I originally thought this bulgy bit could actually connect to his little weapons here, but it doesn't. Like, I was like, oh, cool, that little bulgy bit. Maybe there's something about this weapon that fits into that, and it doesn't. And I'm like, why even have that? Except to just be something unique and textured, and that's what it is. It's just a unique, interesting texture on the side. It bulges out, but there's also like this really neat line of material that goes under the bulge, and it goes right under and comes out the other side. So I like that layering aspect. And then of course we have the top of the roof, and there's this little windshield in there that's inset, and in that there's just all these layers that they've managed to accomplish with the texturing on the side of this vehicle that I just like. I really like all this detail. Like, there's even some line work in there, and it doesn't need to be there. I love it. It's just like, yeah, cool. If this was a Combiner Wars thing, there wouldn't be those lines etched in there. They wouldn't have focused so much on the textures and the sculpt work. Now we're moving around here to the back area where the legs and the arms had folded together, and we get this back canopy, making this guy from a normal truck into some sort of utility vehicle. That you would have like a container in the back that holds stuff. So it feels more like a vehicle that, yeah, like I said, a utility vehicle. It's got all sorts of compartments back here. So let's go into the side of it. We've got the back wheel, and around it we've got some line work to show you the wheel well. We've also got a little strut that kind of sticks out just a bit underneath, but that gives that layering aspect that makes this feel more of a... It gives it kind of an organic feel, in the sense that this is a transformer, and he transforms into things, and you get all these little... It just works. It works. We come up here above it, and we've got this vent that sticks out on the side. Big, bulky vent that sticks out. I love it. But also, I don't understand why it's there on the sides when it could be facing forwards to take air in, unless, of course, it's some sort of design to keep the interior cold. And this is what this truck really feels like, is one of those like small refrigerator trucks. So these vents on the sides are keeping something in here cold, and it most likely is the alcohol. Now we move around here to the back, and we've got a back bumper that goes across the entire length. I do like how the feet become this back bumper, and it all comes together to create something that feels like there's actually a tailgate there. And they did a decent job with the line work in here to make you think, or at least give the impression, that this area can fold down to allow easier access to the interior compartment here, where the fists are all folded up. But this interior compartment is now more like, it feels like there's little doors because of the way the fists are. That allow you to open it up and gain access to whatever he's stored inside. Pretty neat little vehicle mode, and definitely I really like me a utility truck. Utility trucks are always fun. It's not often you get them in Transformers, so I'm very satisfied when I get a utility vehicle like this. Now, when it comes to the rear top area of this vehicle, we don't really have much going on this back area. It's very, very slight on the texturing, and they used a type of plastic that I don't really like too much because of its feel, but it works. They put in a matte paint job to really give you a different texture going on the back area of the truck, whereas on the front we've got a lot of the glossy paint used. So it makes this back area feel like it's more of an addition, like a cloth addition or something to the vehicle. Definitely unique. And then on the underside of the vehicle, we have a couple of robot pieces, but for the most part, this guy he's kibble-free. They've managed to really do a good job in hiding the robot kibble in this Transformer, and that makes him really unique. And it still has the Cybertronian aspects, so he feels like a sci-fi truck mixed with an Earth truck. And though I disagree with the aspects of Earth truck being used, like those windshield wipers there, I still like it as a Cybertronian vehicle. Now, what is the score I will give this guy? Vehicle mode, for what it is, how solid it is, how the wheels are all pinned in, and they feel great, by the way. Like, I didn't mention that. The hubcaps for this guy, they're all textured, and those pins really do help. I like pinned-in wheels like that. Those are always nice. I'm going to have to give this vehicle mode an A. I think that this deserves an A. It's actually, no, more like an A-, because I do wish there were more connection ports on him other than those two at the top, and the windshield does upset things. But A- for that. I think I gave the robot mode an A, and the transformation got a C+, because the transformation was kind of harsh. It was harsh in my vibes. So that would make him a B. He gets a B. Yay! B scale Transformer. He's all right for a guy who owns a bar. You know, he's a pretty cool Transformer all in all, and I definitely think that he is a decent addition to the 13 Primes collection. I wish he was a little bit better, but yeah, you know, they're going to be 13 of these guys. They all can't be slam dunks. See, we're gonna get some that are a little sour, and that's definitely where this guy is, especially in that transformation. That transformation was not very enjoyable. I wish it was a bit better. I wish there was some more clearances with that transformation, but the robot mode was excellent. The vehicle mode is really good, but that transformation does hinder him a lot. So this has been my review series on Alchemist Prime. I think that if you want to get him, go ahead. I think he's a nice little truck mode, but if you're looking for fun transformations, this one may be one you want to try and find on sale. Like if you're about getting the 13 primes, then go get it, because his robot mode and his vehicle modes are really nice. But if you're getting the Transformers for their transformations, then I suggest looking elsewhere, because this guy's not going to bring you as much joy as another Transformer will. And like Megatron. Like, this guy will not bring you as much joy to transform as Megatron will, because Megatron is definitely a fun transformer. I do enjoy transforming him. I wish I could still figure out the arms, but I enjoy transforming him. But I've blathered on long enough about this guy. Please tune in tomorrow, where I will be going in depth to review the 2 modular fortresses from Cobra that I got earlier this week, and we did a box opening on Monday. So tomorrow's video is going to be all about the modular fortress. So please tune in then, and we're going to talk about it and play around with it, and we should have a lot of fun with it. I'm excited about it. I've been playing with it all week, and I think that it's a lot of fun. Now, I do have things to say about it, so please tune in, because it's not all going to be positive stuff tomorrow. There are going to be some cons to those pros. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.